Hi, welcome back everybody. Windows 8 is finally out now. I have Windows 7 on this computer on my Vertex 3 SSD, and I decided to put Windows 8 on a 640 gigabyte Western Digital Caviar Black. And this is running on my system here, my little monster system here. It's the workhorse of the business here, and I do have Eyefinity set up on it. So this is what the start, front menu panel looks on Eyefinity, which is nice because here we have a laptop right next to it, and the laptop has been upgraded, and that's what you see with the single. So Eyefinity actually makes a difference. Of course, Windows 8 was meant for touchscreen interfaces, but tell you the truth, you do get used to it quite a bit after using it for about a week or so. It's easier to use on Eyefinity. It really is, because I don't know why some of the things are actually just dragged out to the right pan. I mean, you would have, if you had a touchscreen, you'd be like pinch, pull over here, pinch, pull over there. Otherwise, it's hidden, quite frankly, and you can, and Eyefinity shows how it is hidden. So, but let me show you what what is the biggest difference. It's technically it's a little bit more secure. It does search through files a little bit more quickly. It does run certain mini applications a little bit more quickly than Windows 7. In terms of more quickly, I've seen 2 to 5% increases in speed and efficiency in games and applications. Windows 8 tends to utilize better utilize hardware to a certain degree. So let's see what the big deal is. Basically, a lot of it is cosmetic, and at first I really didn't like the cosmetic thing to it. It's very pastel. If you thought the Windows 7 start screen was very metrosexual, very girly, this is very, very pastel, very easy in the eyes. When you install Windows 8, you do have an option of choosing the color scheme. It's a dual color scheme, blacks, red, oranges, pinks, purples, to even grays. But this gets a little bit annoying at times. These things keep popping up. You do have choices to customize it. So since we have a pretty good view of the front of the screen, I'm going just to show you what it actually does. If you want to get, there are actually applications on this thing now. So there's a weather application. You pop it up and it comes up like this. And what it does, it basically tells you the weather in your area. Of course you have to have internet connection, all that. It's set up. And now, if you had only one screen, basically you'd be looking at that. Because Eyefinity is up, we actually see the other screens over here. And believe it or not, that's not the end of it. I can actually scroll. And lo and behold, advertisements there, historical weather, maps, and the forecast. Now, how do you get out of this thing? You just there's no icons on the screen. On Windows 8, you have to either go to the lower left-hand corner or lower right-hand corner. You put the mouse cursor in the lower left-hand corner, and you see the front start screen here. You can click on that, and it goes back there. Now let's go back. And now you go to the upper right, what you see is all the applications that we've actually just have access. So I can go back to my weather. Now what happens if I go all the way to my right hand screen? This is how it works on desktop. We go to the right hand, lower right, and what happens is something pops up. You have your settings, devices, start menu, search. Okay, so here's settings. Let's go to, I'm still trying to find out where everything is. There's options, whether by Microsoft options, stuff like that. This actually comes up per application too, so there is a little bit different sometimes by application. Okay, so let's get out of this screen by going to the start menu. And why don't we go settings, and we can go to, I'm trying to look for PC info, change PC settings. And then you actually have an option to change all your pretty settings. PC settings, sync your accounts, because you can actually sync a laptop, a tablet, and a desktop together if you really want to. The nice, easy to access things that we can see in Windows 7 are actually spread out somewhat, which makes it a little bit slow at times, but once you know where it is, you can find them. I'm not a big fan of the missing start button, and I've just clicked onto the desktop, and this is the advantage of Eyefinity here. Windows 8 does have a really cool feature where it has panoramic backgrounds. As you can see, with 3 monitors, you get the whole thing, which is cool. But as you can see here, Windows 8 does not have a start button, which sucks. You know, there's applications out there to put it back in. But besides that, it runs like Windows 7 in the desktop view. You actually have, you know, a lot of things are set up like that. However, one thing that you will notice is that you don't have well-defined borders on your Windows screens anymore. It's very pastel. At times it can be hard to see. But this is Windows 8, a quick preview. I probably won't do much of any other thing on Windows 8. There are certain things that are nicer about Windows 8. I'm going to slide the volume bar up and down. I don't know if you can hear that, but there's a nice chime to it. It's more friendly, you know. When you connect an item to let's say my iPhone, I'm going to connect it and listen to the chime. And not more, you know, a more nice, friendly chime. So it actually does change the feel of the program. You'll be surprised if you actually use a computer quite a bit. So the sounds themselves actually make it different from Windows 7. But in essence, when you're on the screen, you would swear you're using Windows 7 until you're trying to find that start button. But otherwise, it seems to be a fairly decent program. I know some people totally hate it. You know, I have to admit, when I first was using it, the beta version, I was just, you know, just like, this is terrible, but it grows on you. So I probably won't do another video unless somebody requests something specifically. But here is a look at Windows 8 Professional. Any questions or comments, please put them at the bottom of the video. Thank you.